Top stories for today consist of multiple game releases coming out very, very soon, as well as the PlayStation Vita being discontinued with no planned successor, and the Nintendo Switch's online functionality with the NES library that's been hacked already. All in today's news you missed. Now, before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I have something interesting. Good old Crazybaby, I have a contact over there, sent me these bad boys. These are true wireless headphones. Now, these things are really, really cool. Let me tell you why. Check this out. Look at this. Wow, man, that is some presentation, I'm gonna tell you. And what's really, really sweet is that the canister that they come in is actually the charger for it. So you plug it in right here, and you can see where the charging pieces go for the wireless earbuds. So if you're like me and you like to ride bikes, you like to go on runs, man, and you're tired of headphones getting tangled, or you'd really like some nice wireless headphones, these are the way to go. And there's some phones out there that don't have headphone jacks. Not naming any names, but yeah, they exist. So you might want to look into these for an alternative for you. They're over on Crazybaby. I'll go ahead and link it in the description down below, and you can check into that, ladies and gentlemen. As for the news, I want to start off running down a list of different things that are going to be coming out. Now, as you know, Devil May Cry 5 is going to be coming out, but they have some interesting things because, again, Capcom. So you're going to be able to get the Mega Buster in the PS4 version of Devil May Cry, and the thing about it is that you have to buy a specific edition, which is the Devil May Cry 5 Deluxe Edition, though the Mega Buster isn't just specifically cosmetic, or at least what I'm seeing from it. It's really, really nice. They're called Devil Breaker weapons, and this one is specifically very cool for people who like Mega Man. I'm sure a lot of people are fans of Mega Man who are also fans of Devil May Cry, so this is going to go over very, very well. But continuing on, we have details with the new Jump Force game that's coming out, bringing in more fighters and customized avatars. There's several new fighters that have been detailed and divulged, but the biggest one that was recently detailed was Yugi, and he's going to be able to have 3 characters fight on his behalf, kind of like a summoner: Dark Magician Girl, and Slifer the Sky Dragon. There are other characters that were detailed, but this was the biggest one because a lot of people are very excited to be able to use Yugi, a duelist, in a fighting game. Very interesting and unique approach. I can't wait to play Jump Force myself. Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood are also possibly coming to modern systems, as Korean Ratings Board lists them for potential to be released on the PlayStation 4. Now, if you didn't know, Symphony of the Night is a very, very good Castlevania game. It really revived the Metroidvania formula, and these games are very, very great additions to Castlevania. Castlevania is kind of getting reborn as we speak here with the introduction of Simon Belmont and Richter Belmont over on Super Smash Bros. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's not really a surprise to see Konami trying to associate with so many things and put out so many IPs after their exit from the video game industry just a few short years ago. They're coming right back in. I don't know what's going on with them, but long story short, we might have Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood on PlayStation 4, which is awesome because currently I think the most modern system you can play it on is only the Xbox 360, which isn't bad, but I'm just saying it would be nice to have it on PlayStation 4. I might be wrong about that, and you can feel free to correct me in the comments down below. Finally, in the new games section, we have Red Dead Redemption 2's online mode is going to be launching in November as a beta. Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to have an online mode just like Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, the biggest thing is that a lot of people were worried that this was going to be tied into the single-player campaign in some way, shape, or form, and they explicitly stated that it's going to be completely separate, fundamentally separate from the main game. So there you go. They did say that they're launching the beta because they want to hammer out and fix all types of issues before the service actually launches, and they know that they're going to have some problems and issues with it, probably learning from their GTA 5 online experience, so hopefully that'll go over well. I know a lot of people are excited for Red Dead Redemption because they love the game, and I have to sympathize. I like the game too. It'll be fun and an interesting game for sure. Steam is introducing community comment moderation. Oh boy, yay! So, you know, on Steam, there are communities you can talk. It's very similar to forums where you can post comments, messages, ask questions, interact with the community. Well, Steam said beginning September 25th, moderation teams are going to start reviewing reported discussion posts in all game hubs on Steam. This can be viewed in one of two ways. One, that Steam is going to be policing the freedom of speech on their website, and if you disagree with what they say, you're going to be banned. Or two, you could say that some of those developers out there that are really, really crappy people who fight against and rail against people and start flame arguments in the comment sections over their crappy games, they could be banned and their games could not end up on Steam's community. So there's a plus and a negative to this. For me personally, I still say freedom of speech is 10 times better. If you say something in the public eye and it's seen, then you have to accept the consequences for it. So if those devs do say negative things in the public eye, I do believe that people have the right to make YouTube videos exposing them, and I also believe that Steam has the right to deny them on their platform for doing so. I don't necessarily think there needs to be a review team going through the comments, but hey, that's just me. The PlayStation Classic compared to the original PlayStation is, well, significantly smaller, just like the NES Classic was and the SNES Classic was to their original counterparts. It's fairly small, it's fairly nice. The controllers are bigger than the console itself, which is hilarious. But I did want to say something that I missed, and that was that the controllers themselves do not have analog sticks. So yeah, for those people who like the analog sticks for their PlayStation games, these ones definitely lack. But hey, who knows, maybe there will be a special device to make that compatibility a possibility. The PlayStation Vita is really dead in Japan. There is no successor currently planned. There's nothing else to the story, just basically it was stated that yes, the Vita is going to be finished soon, sometime next year in Japan, and they stated that there is no successor hardware. No PlayStation Vita successor hardware. Is there going to be another PlayStation Portable of some kind? Possibly. Are they planning on doing something else, making a completely different system, just like Nintendo did with the Switch, a mobile and hybrid for a console, home console? I don't know. But as of now, PlayStation Vita is finished, ladies and gentlemen. And in Japan is where it was strongest, so yeah, it's done. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Details were introduced, talking about detailing how you're going to be able to transfer over Pokemon from Pokemon Go. You're going to want to take a look at that. That's kind of important, especially for people who are playing Pokemon Go. Basically, they're going to have parks set up. You're going to be able to put in a bunch of Pokemon, and you're either going to be able to choose a minigame based upon the types of Pokemon you put in there, or you're going to be able to individually catch those Pokemon. So that's really, really cool. I do have to state that you're going to have to recapture those Pokemon, so Pokemon like Dragonite might be extremely hard for you to capture, which will clearly limit your ability to transfer over Pokemon early on in the game. Perhaps this is why they're doing it in an effort to curb and limit you from transferring over overpowered Pokemon to steamroll your way through the game, but hey, I don't know. We'll have to see when the game comes out. Don't worry, the Nintendo Switch Online CRT filter isn't damaging any player's screens. The long and the short of this story is that people were stating that they were getting glitches from the CRT filter that was leaving residual effects behind on their screens. It's no surprise for people who played Nintendo in the past, as they had multiple residual effects left over and burned into their screens. That's why we have screen burn-in reduction nowadays. But the point is that a lot of people were very, very concerned and worried about this as it was happening to their Nintendo Switch. But it just turns out to be some type of glitch to where the processing wasn't finishing. It's a rendering issue, and I'm sure Nintendo is going to be able to patch it out later on. Basically, you just have to turn off your system and turn it back on if you have this glitch occur, and it'll fix itself. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be worried if your CRT filter is leaving kind of residual effects behind on your Switch. Finally, I want to talk about the big story, and there's really not a lot to detail and discuss with this, but it is a major story, and Nintendo Switch's online NES emulator has already been hacked to allow for more games. So the long and the short of this is that the individual who was hacking it stated that it's not a security fault or a problem with the security of the Switch itself, but rather the simple fact that because they wanted to allow for the easy additions of games as the months progressed, Nintendo obviously wanted to add more games in and make it easy on themselves. This makes it incredibly easy and basic to add in your own ROMs to Nintendo Switch's emulator that's built in. So it basically makes it very easy for you to hack. Very similar to the NES Classic and SNES Classic, but they said it was pretty easy if you have a guide and you know how to do it right off the bat. So there you go. They even went as far to say as someone who had little to no experience was able to do it within less than a day. So yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's pretty easy to mod and hack in emulators with ROMs and play the games that you want. If you guys want a full review of the Nintendo Switch's online services, specifically the NES portion, I'll go ahead and post that sometime soon. But that's it for this episode of The News You Missed. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a big thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you leave me a thumbs down. You let me know what you think about all these hacks and this news with the Nintendo Switch Online. I've been your host, Protomario, and I would greatly appreciate you clicking that subscribe button, as I'm always on the road to 1 million subscribers. Today is the day we take back gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Mavericks unite. Now I'm off to go ahead and play some NES games with my 7-day free trial. Don't forget to turn off auto renew and buy a year of that online service if you're going to pay for it. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and thanks for watching.